Addiction Severity Index is a widely used semi-structured tool. YouTuber-ooski. Work. That'll work. How you doing, y'all? Basically, I just wanted to hop on here and I've been doing things with my stream, and I like gaming and it's a lot of fun, but I feel like I need to do something more meaningful. And so I really want to give back to my community, not just this community, but also, I mean, I give back to my community in real life, but I want to give back to community, online community. And I feel like if I can help somebody get through, help them walk through their recovery process or help them take steps to better their life in any way, shape, or form, whatever that may look like to them, um, then that's what I want to do. I've been taking some training on at the I took some recovery coach academy training, so that I can be a coach to help people get resources and basically just be there as a support system for somebody who is dealing with anything from addiction to homelessness to abuse, um, of any kind, mental, physical, sexual, whatever it is. I really just want to be that person that people can come to and just talk about their stuff, provide resources for them, and most importantly, just be there and as a support. And so I'm kind of trying this out. Like I said, usually I just come on here and play video games, but you know, I've made pretty big strides in my life as you know, um, becoming more clear-headed, healthier, um, and not letting the weight of the world crush me. I deal with pretty severe pain on a daily basis, which is what led me down a road. Yo, what's up, Spidey? Led me down a road of after you know 15 plus years of trying to get doctors to help me, um, you know, with no relief. Um, I had few surgical procedures on my spine before they told me that there's. I appreciate that, Spidey, but it's yo, what's up, William? Um, it's it was just really it was tough. It was difficult. And to not get the help that I needed was really, really disheartening, painful in a mental sense. And after the surgical procedures that they did, they told me that there was nothing else that they could do for me. So after about 15 years of telling them no, I don't want pain meds. I want to be fixed. That was the point where I said, you know what? I have a family at home that I need to earn money for. I need to provide for. And so at that point, that's when I told my doctor, fine, just give me, which in hindsight was really not. I guess in that moment, that's what I needed. Um, but it just led me down a road for about 6 years of being dependent on addiction, and it was just something that didn't work for me. So I mean, it doesn't. Let me rephrase that. Didn't take my pain away, y'all. It just masked things, masked everything, feelings, emotions. Um, didn't really mask my pain, um, but it did definitely get me addicted to them, to the opiates. It was a very difficult situation. And like I said, I was taking opiates for about 6 years. Doctor had gotten he got put under investigation for another client that he had, another patient that he had, and so when that happened, he wasn't allowed to practice until he was cleared, which he eventually got cleared. But in that time, they just cut everybody off. All of his patients that he was treating for pain or giving opioids to or anything really, he could not prescribe any medication anymore at that point. Um, and so and nobody in his office would help his patients either. And so I was cut off very abruptly, um, and forced into sudden withdrawal. And it was horrible. If y'all have been addicted to you know pain medicine or drugs of any sort, it's not anything that you want to go through. I've been so sad lately because my grandma recently passed away. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Spidey. Really sorry to hear that, man. It's got to be tough, dude. No matter how prepared we are, or if we see it coming or not, that's always difficult. So I'm really sorry to hear. And you don't ever have to explain why you don't come to my streams. I just assume that if people aren't here, it's just simply because they have other things going on in life. I just appreciate when people do come in. So uh, I'm really sorry that you're going through that. Uh, Death is the only thing that's guaranteed in this life. That's it. That's literally the only thing that's guaranteed in life is death. We're all going to die someday, but it doesn't make it any easier when we have to watch our friends or our family pass away. She was your grandma, so I know you're younger, but it seems like maybe she got to live somewhat of a long life. Hopefully it wasn't abrupt, but at the same time, Usually when death comes on slowly, it's not necessarily an easy thing. Usually it's because we're fighting some sort of illness. So I hope that there wasn't too much struggling with that for her. Hope it was peaceful and pain free for her. Um, that's tough, man. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Is I actually got my Recovery Coach Academy certification. That's why I wasn't streaming last week, was because that's what I was doing. So I was taking that course, and I would have my certification on the wall, but I'm getting it framed at the moment. So now that doesn't mean that I have all the answers, because I don't. Everybody's uh, everybody's recovery looks different. Um, and the main thing that I really learned there is that you know that as a recovery coach, we are our job is to support the person in whatever way they need support, whether it's resources or just someone to listen to them. Last week I was trying to find. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't. I was in training all week last week, so I my deal with coming off of opioids was pretty tough. It was pretty harsh. Like I said, my doctor got put under investigation. Eventually, got through his investigation. He's now practicing medicine again, but I was forced into sudden withdrawal, and uh, and that's horrible. It was horrible. It was nothing that I ever want to deal with again. And after a few days, it was it was about a week maybe of the sweats and the shakes and not being able to sleep, diarrhea, other things that come along with detoxing. Um, I checked myself into I didn't check myself in, but I went to a Suboxone clinic, which, if y'all that don't know what Suboxone is, it's a legal medication that is a lot safer than opioids, but it it binds to the same receptors as opioids do. It basically does the same thing as opioids. Now, when I got put on it, they said it was non-habit forming, meaning not addictive, which couldn't have been farther from the truth. Because if I was to be honest, I feel like it was way harder to get off Suboxone than the experience that I had getting off. Don't get me wrong; it was pretty harsh off the opioids. With that being said, I took the Suboxone for about a little less than a year, and decided that I wanted to take myself off those. Now, some people take Suboxone for their whole life, and that just depends on the person. There's side effects and things from Suboxone that I didn't want. Oh, it eats your teeth, and even though it's healthier, it's not as bad for you as the actual opioids. There's some side effects, and I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to be free from the prison of addiction altogether. So I weaned myself off. I cut my doses down and down and down and down, and when I was taking them, I was taking 24 milligrams a day, and I weaned myself all the way down to about a quarter of a milligram a day, and I still had withdrawals, taking a quarter of a milligram. So it was pretty crazy how addicting that medicine. And, I just, even though it was tough and it wasn't something I wanted to go through, I needed to go through it so that I could break the chains. I'm saying. And so I don't wish anything different. I'm super happy that I did what I did and that I don't have to take that stuff anymore. Um, I've been off of the Suboxone now since the first week of April, I think, or March. Maybe it was March. Um, and I haven't felt better. I've been doing things. I've been starting to, doing things like fasting, um, doing slow little workouts that are not impact based workouts, meaning I'm not like running and stuff like that. I am doing super lightweight on little dumbbells because I noticed that with my pain, because I have a bunch of issues. I got my spine is really messed up. I have arthritis throughout my whole spine. Actually, arthritis through my whole body. From my hands, my neck, spine, my hips, my knees, my feet. Everywhere has arthritis. But I was born with something called kyphosis, and what that is that actually deteriorates one side of your disc in your spine way faster than the other. So your discs are kind of like this, but what would happen is it would deteriorate one side more than the other, and it does it on all of them. So what happens is it makes your spine end up curving. So it's like that. It's also known as the hunchback disease, um, and it causes a lot of pain. And not to mention that is I also have growths on my vertebra that are pushing up into my discs, which makes even less room. So there's several things going on, but basically, I wake up in pain. I'm in pain all day long. I go to bed in pain. I can't really escape it. But I will say this: since relieving myself of the toxins from the medicines that I was taking, um, I haven't felt this as good as I feel today. I haven't felt this good since I was in my early 20s before my pain really set in. Maybe my, you know, mid 20s, late 20s or something like that. I'm 48 years old. Um, so I mean it's been quite the road. So long story, not so short. Um, I want to try to shift my platform into helping people get through their struggles, whatever it is. I just I don't like to see people struggle. It hurts my heart. I love my people, and by my people I mean everybody. And it's very important that we support each other. And something I learned in the Recovery Coach Academy is that when your friend or family member or someone comes to you with a problem, a struggle, or some sort of issue that they're having, they don't necessarily want you to fix it for them. They don't need you throwing all these answers at them. They just need you to listen and be there with them in that. And so that's my goal. I will still be playing, video games and stuff, but eventually, I would really like to get into helping people more meaningful, not only for me, but more importantly for you folks out there that are, like I said, that are struggling with homelessness. You could be struggling with abuse, mental, physical, sexual. Could be struggling with addiction, alcoholism, whatever it is. I would really like to have a place where we can come and we can freely talk and support each other. So that's really my goal for this channel. If you've been here before, you know that I pretty much play video games. That's why I have this steering wheel here. I do play American Truck Simulator, play Warzone and stuff like that. But those things just aren't, they're not meaningful in a way that I want to make a difference. I used to be able to help my community in ways that, because my jobs in the past were always very physical jobs, construction. My career was in auto body collision and classic car restoration. So I've never, well, I can't say never, paid a mechanic once in my life. Um, I've I have owned a home and have done every repair in a home that you can really imagine. Haven't really done much concrete work at all, but pretty much everything else I've done. And so when somebody in my friend, family, or community circle would come to me with help or with needing help with a problem with their vehicle or their home, I would be that guy and I would help them fix it for them so that they didn't have to pay the astronomical prices of what mechanic shops or contractors charge. And so I can't do that type of stuff. So what I can do is be there for you and help you get resources that you need, or just, you know, provide a place where we can get together and talk about it. Because talking about it can make more of a difference in somebody's life than, and usually, and does pretty much 90% of the time, like, than just throwing resources at people. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So I don't know, with this world that we're living in, um, it's it's crazy the things that our bodies are bombarded with. It's crazy what our government thinks is okay to feed us and subject us to. And the way they get away with it is by putting just little bits in each thing, little bits in each product, little bits in the water, little, and and it's not the little bits that get you. It's all of the little bits added up that get you. And so, it's really important for us to try to limit toxins in our body the best that we can. So that's what I want to do. I want to help people understand, for one, the toxins that we're being subjected, help them steer away from those toxins. So yeah, that's kind of the way I'm gonna go. Um, I appreciate you guys coming in here, stopping in, saying hi, hanging out for a little bit. Appreciate it. But this was kind of just a little test stream to see if I could get my streaming um, app to capture this. So I'm glad that I know that we can do this now. We'll be able to look up resources together. I really would like Joy to just have meaningful conversation to to help people deal with their stuff. It's kind of funny. It wasn't I guess my headphones didn't think that we were, even though I'm, oh, it's because I used the microphone. So, yeah. Wonder how I could do that, how I could get around that. Because my my headphone, I guess, really wouldn't matter. Really listen. What up, Spidey? So let's take a look at some of these clips and see what these people have to say, because it's really important that we understand what recovery versus addict is, addiction versus someone saying that they're an addict versus someone saying that they're in. I believe that if you're actively working to get out of a certain situation, whether it's homelessness or whatever, addiction or abuse, uh, you're in recovery from that. So let's see what.
Counseling is often the first step in addressing substance use. It can be done on an individual basis, where a person works one on one with a therapist, in group sessions, where people share their experiences and support one another, or in family sessions, where a person is joined in counseling by members of their family.
So basically, the type of coaching that I'll be doing is a one-on-one basis. Um, So, and it won't be, my coaching won't be online. Um, this is going to just be a social area where people can get together and support each other, talk about the things that we're going through in life. But when I meet people for a coaching session, it's going to be private, confidential, and I will basically be helping that person get what they need from the coaching session, whether they need resources, like I said, resources, or just someone to talk to, or whatever they are looking for. So let's continue with what they have to say.
Counseling helps individuals identify the root causes of their substance use, as well as their triggers for use, and helps them to develop coping skills to manage cravings and stress. It's ideal for those with mild substance use issues or those who are in the early stages of seeking help.
Yeah. Now, uh, coaching is not, it's different than like AA, right? Because AA basically has, um, you know, one thing that's really prevalent is like a 12-step program where they lay everything out for you. You have steps that you take to get there. Now, if someone comes to me and they say, "Look, I want to, I want to be free from this addiction," then we can come up together with some steps. But it's all, you would be the resource, right? So you will be making your own steps, your own goals. And if you would want, then I would be helping to facilitate those goals, if that makes sense. I, as an addiction coach, or as a recovery coach, not an addiction coach, but a recovery coach, um, it's my job to, again, to support you. So that's what I'll be doing. Um, I will be helping you find the resources and just being a support system for you. So yeah. So let's see. Um,
So this video is about treatment and how it benefited you. So it's been a long time since I was in treatment, and so I'm trying to reflect about.
And this is going to be kind of hit and miss. This is the first time I've come on here. Yo, what's up, editor? Um, and so I'm just trying to figure out a way that I can, uh, again, create a space for us to be social, to for us to talk about and support each other. But I want to see here. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we could talk about. Does anybody have anything specific that they would like to talk about? And we can kind of go in that direction. And again, okay, it's all good. Thanks, Spidey. Um, it's just real important for one to to give yourself credit, right? For work that you've done, right? Because we all, no one's perfect, and we all have struggles. We all have things in life that may lead us down a certain road. And sometimes in our recovery, we can. So, first, I want to talk about lapse and relapse. I want to talk about the difference between a lapse and a relapse. Sorry about my. A relapse is basically when somebody um, has been abstinent, we'll say from alcoholism, from alcohol. They haven't used alcohol in, say, a year, right? And they go to a barbecue or they go to a wedding and they have a drink. And when they do, it basically triggers them and they fall back into their addiction, which is they fall back into their old routine of drinking every day, um, whatever situation that they were in their in the past, right? But it's not a short thing. It's not like having a beer one day, right? It's they have a beer and then it triggers them to keep using, keep using and keep using. Then they fall for a while. eh, you know um what a lapse is when some say same scenario, somebody has been absent from alcohol and they go to the same scenario, they go to a barbecue or a something and they have a drink or two, but then the next day they go back to their abstinence. They don't have any alcohol. They don't for a long time. It does not trigger them to fall and go back into heavy drink or drinking it. So that's the basic difference. Is a relapse, we can look at it like timeline. A relapse is like a long portion of time where they fall back into their addiction. And a lapse is where they basically they have a drink that one day, right? And it doesn't trigger them to fall back into old habits. And that can happen. There's an old adage, once always an adage. Like it's not necessarily true. Now, some people, sure, they can't have a drink like that because they would just instantly go back into their hardcore drinking or whatever.
Ritter. I'm a primary therapist at the Robert Alexander Center for Recovery. Advice that I would give someone struggling with mental health is to allow themselves to be vulnerable and ask for help. A lot of people want to believe people know what they're going through and the struggles that they're enduring. But the fact of the matter is, unless you ask for help and communicate your needs, they will go unmet. The advice that I would give someone struggling with addiction is the same that I would recommend for someone struggling with mental health, is to allow themselves to be vulnerable, especially to those closest to them, and ask for the help that they need. This can feel really uncomfortable in the beginning, but it's always worth it to have that support when you're going through a difficult time. If you or a loved one are struggling with mental health or a substance use disorder, please message us at the Robert Alexander Center.
So anyway, yeah. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I just wanted to hop on here and kind of present this in a different way and talk about what my goals are for the channel moving forward. Ooh, my dog, I tell you. Anyway, I love y'all.